Thanks, Nicole. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us. This is going to be your second look at Vancouver, having previously lost to them back at BC Place in April. Maybe you can just talk about what kind of proposition the Whitecaps sort of pose tomorrow. I mean, what kind of battle or what kind of opponent are you expecting out of them?
No, I expect the same as always. A team that really gives a lot physically. The intensity at which they play with is very high, and especially at home on a big pitch. And they have quality as well. So, no, I expect it's always a tough game against Vancouver, especially at BC Place, and it being a final. A group that has won the last two. We were probably playing against a confident group, and it's going to be a tough game, but hey, it's a final and we're up for it as well. And we're going to bring everything. And on tomorrow, the team that shows up better will win.
We'll go next to James.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Jonathan. John was just telling us that you guys had your leadership group meeting. He said there was a good spirit coming out of that. I wonder if you could give us a glimpse inside and just give us a sense of what was talked about in there, what you guys agreed upon.
Just we went over, just being on the same page of what we think the game will look like, and things that will be important for us to bring. And that's pretty much all I can really share. These are private meetings. So, as any leadership meeting, we're just getting on the same page and um, preparing ourselves to win tomorrow.
We'll go back to John.
Thanks, Nicole. John, you've played in a number of these finals and you've been on the winning side and on the losing side. So you're a veteran here. As someone, maybe for someone who's sort of coming into this tournament for the first time, maybe a young teammate, what would you tell them about how to sort of approach this game and what your experiences have sort of taught you about this game over the years?
No, these finals, I've played in these finals, which were two legs back when. And more recently now, it's the single final. And I would say about the single finals, playing home and away is different. There's a certain sacrifice and a certain level, I think, of suffering that you have to be prepared to do playing in a away final match. Um, and yeah, they're just matches in which you have to bring your best attitude and give everything physically. Your performance as far as like on the ball and things like that can be there, cannot be there, but I think in these games it's the attitude that cannot be missed. And usually it's the teams that have that attitude along with their game plan and execute both together, but you have to bring the attitude. I think the most important of the two is the attitude and the sacrifice of which you put into the game. For me, those are the teams that end up winning.
We'll go next to Gemma.
Hi there. Can you guys hear me this time around?
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this, Jonathan. I wanted to talk a little bit about the game back here in Vancouver back in April. What did you learn from that game? What lessons can you take from that one and apply not just to tomorrow's game, but to the rest of the season?
That was a game that was very early in the season. I think we were a very new team at that time, with a lot of new players and still trying to, get a grip of our identity. And I felt like um, in that game, we were a bit naive at times in some plays. And Vancouver is a team that when you make mistakes, they will punish you. And and so yeah, I think from that game, a lot of time has passed, a lot of games have been played, and both teams I think are at different points now in as far as it comes to rhythm and their form and everything and what they're fighting for in the league and things like that. So it's going to be a different game, and it being a final, that makes it that much more different as well. And so, yeah, there's little things that you can take from that game, tactically and things that, as far as Vancouver has a very clear identity that I think that they have, really, really almost perfected throughout the years. And so those kind of things you can be prepared for, but now there's things about finals that are different than league games that you have to be ready to come into.
We'll go to Har next.
Hi, also, it's hard in Vancouver. I'm wondering what kind of bragging rights, banter, messages has there been with you and Sam Adekugbe, Ali Ahmed, Ralph? Because you guys know each other, you're in the same environment. So how has that lead up messages, banter been this week?
Oh, no, none.
Zero, nothing?
None from my part. I'm just I guess on both sides we're just preparing for this game, and when we see each other, maybe after, if things get brought up in a respectful way, but we have really good relationship with all those guys that you have mentioned, and yeah, of course, there's these bragging rights, and you always want to be, your friends or even your family. You want to win at games and things like that. So you want to have those bragging rights, but again, it's with respect, and we have respect for those guys. We love those guys that we play with on the national team, and but yeah, that's all out the window for tomorrow as we're both trying to win this championship.
We'll go back to John.
Thanks, Nicole. John, just to follow up on that, as you said, there's obviously a healthy respect between, the two teams. But and maybe I'm wrong, you correct me. It doesn't seem like there's as much animosity in the rivalry between the two sides, much like compared to say TFC and Montreal. I mean, how would you characterize TFC's rivalry with the Whitecaps?
No, there's definitely a rivalry of being, it's a domestic rivalry, and especially being, one of three teams, Canadian teams in the league, it's natural that we have a rivalry with Vancouver, that they have a rivalry with Montreal, and then everybody knows, of course, the rivalry that Toronto and Montreal have in general in a lot of sports. I don't know in a lot of sports how many sports that Toronto and Vancouver have a chance to have a rivalry in. I don't know if the Argos and the BC Lions is I don't know much about that rivalry, if there is one, but um yeah, it's a rivalry, and I think we have respect for this team, and this one especially, specifically in the last few years. It can't go unnoticed, the things that they have accomplished, and the championships, the Canadian championships that they won in the last 2 years. But at the same time, we are Toronto FC, and with respect to the other clubs, we are historically the biggest club in Canada, and but that title is always up, for grabs every year, and we both have a chance to take that title this year.
We'll go to James for our final question.
Thanks again, Nicole. Two quick ones, if that's all right. John, as you said, you've played in a number of these. I wonder if you allow yourself a moment to reflect back. What comes to mind?
No, I'm trying to more stay in the present and focusing on this one. There's not too many things that I can take from the other games and other finals that I've played, because the truth is every final is different in its own way. There are certain things that stay the same, but at this point in my career, I think that's not a hard thing for me to take into the games. It's just now being in the present and more thinking about everything going around the team and into the game this time around.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe just last one. What's going to be your message to the guys before leading them out on that field?
Well, message is quite simple. We have a trophy to play for, and this is, as players, is what you play for. You play to win these championships, because these championships are what give you your memories as a player and as a person, really. And these are the memories that you take with you, even after you're done playing, um, and so that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for to win this championship, to make this memory together, and to push forward, um and of course the most important thing is for the fans. This championship and this trophy is for our fans, and we believe our fans deserve it more than ever.